Bitcoin price makes a break for it. BTC reclaiming $1 trillion market cap. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Crypto Capital Venture. Hit that subscribe, hit that like on the way in. Bitcoin making some moves. This is the macro. This is the weekly chart. It's looking really good. There are some things that I really want to point out on the macro and some really important things on the zoomed in, the 6 hour, this green box in particular, something I'm watching. Everybody, real quick, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm a YouTuber out here, very, very interested in cryptocurrencies, as you know, tracking the data just alongside of you, trying to offer any value that I can. If you're looking for a financial advisor, please find one. I am not one. Let's jump into it. First things first, Bitcoin, over $1 trillion market cap. The reason why it's so big is Bitcoin was in, if you look at the weekly chart, this downtrend, if you remember, from that all-time high that we had in April, just this downtrend into that 50-week moving average. And we were tracking that, and Bitcoin did some extremely important things. Confluent with all of this stuff, right now, here's a headline. U.S. Bank launches Bitcoin custody service as institutions race to cater to crypto demand. This was yesterday, obviously, but this is the type of stuff that is happening in the midst of this potential continuation of the Bitcoin bull market. And I say potential, I'm going to dig into why I said that, but let's first start here. This is something that we've talked about so much on this YouTube channel. The swing high of the bull market high in 2017 to the bear market low of 2018, it's this. So when Bitcoin broke the bull market doors, and this is obviously not charted perfectly, but this green channel, this resistance area, broke the bull market doors. We've talked about it all the way up to all-time high and back down to the 1618 area for continuation of the bull market. It's happened so far. When we were in this dip, we were tracking the consolidation that took place here and just asking the question, is Bitcoin going to do this? The 1618 bounce? Because if we go back and we look at the high from 2013 to that bear market low, Bitcoin, if I chart this, did something very similar. As you remember, I've talked about it probably multiple times on this channel. Bull market doors broken right here, up through the 1618, down to the 1618, continuation to that 2017 all-time high. So we're in like this very similar storyline. What's really cool to me on this chart, and I don't want to put too much hopium out there, but this is really, really good to look at. Let's get rid of these Fibonacci so we can see. You look at this downtrend that Bitcoin was in, right? This 20-week moving average is kind of approaching the 50-week moving average, that blue line. And just look at this uptick right now of the 20-week moving average. Really, in the last couple of weeks, these green candles, Bitcoin doing something very special here, because if we go back and we look at the entry of the last bear market, and this is one of the things we were looking for, Bitcoin, 20-week moving average crossing below the 50-day moving average right there. You go back, you look at even the 2013 swing high, same thing. Bitcoin, 20-week moving average through the 50-day moving average. There was no real uptick where the 20-week moving average turned around and Bitcoin had kind of this recovery. And right now, Bitcoin's doing that. And the last couple of weeks have been extremely important in that being done. Now, the one thing I want to do is I want to dig into this move and this move, because this was kind of one of my concerns. I want to dig in. I want to go to the daily chart. So here's Bitcoin on the daily chart, and this is what's been happening. We got Bitcoin, this 50-day moving average, crossing back above that red line. So the blue line crossing above the red line, which is a 200-day moving average, was a really big move because we had that 50-day moving average crossing below the 200-day moving average, and it was just bearish all across crypto, Twitter, crypto, YouTube, everybody talking about it. And this is as we're tracking that macro 1618 line right here. But this happened, and now the inverse of that happened. The bullish move, the 50-day moving average cross above the 200. What I've been watching is if you go back, and this is a weekly, if you go back to this 2014 move, the 20-week moving average crossing below the 50-day moving average, and we look at that on the daily chart now, this is what it looked like then. So Bitcoin at the time saw a very similar 50-day moving average cross below the red line, the 200-day, and then it came back up, similar to what's just happened on Bitcoin The 50-day crossing back above the 200, but just look how weak of a move that was, right? So the 50-day crossing back above the 200, just barely lasting up there. Bitcoin just struggling to even stay above both moving averages, pretty quickly falling below. And then it was just lower lows and lower highs all the way down to this low in January 2015. If we go back to the chart now, we're seeing Bitcoin put in a different kind of strength. And this is what's probably the most intriguing thing to me on the macro charts. Because if you look at this and you see the 50-day moving average cross right here, and this was, I mean, when did this happen? September 14th, the middle of September, weeks ago, Bitcoin falls back below and just right now, in the last 5 days or so, making just this separation move above all moving averages. This is big because as we get separation, it allows for consolidation even back down to the moving averages. So yeah, it's possible Bitcoin comes back down and we're testing in the 40,000s again. But if Bitcoin can put in support, start putting in higher highs and higher lows above these moving averages, we might be in this new uptrend, the continuation of this bull market. On the weekly chart, one thing I want to point out is this. If you look at the MACD, the MACD kind of just put in this MACD cross in August, and Bitcoin has kind of been in this uptrend, right? What's really cool about this MACD to me is look at this consolidation from like the April to August area. This is that consolidation, really, if you look at the weekly chart, let me open that back up so we can see this. This was that consolidation to this 1618 line that we just talked about at the beginning of the video. Remember, this is the 1618 macro. So that move, if we look at the MACD, check this out. Look at this upward momentum out of that move. Why I think it's interesting is this. If you go back into the last bull market, Bitcoin was just kind of in this steady uptrend. There was no strong consolidation like that. And then we ended the Bitcoin bull market, right? There was nothing like that. But this time around, there is. And coming out of this mess, and in that mess, Bitcoin not allowing this 20-week moving average cross, or this 20-week moving average to cross below the 50-week moving average, there's some strength going on in Bitcoin right now. So on the short term, this is what I'm watching for. We go over here to the 6-hour chart. This is, and I get it. Bitcoin's moving, right? If we look at price range wise from this last swing low, $39,000 area, Bitcoin just put in a swing high of like 40%. It's a really nice move. These moves happen all the time though. I try and put emotion aside in downtrends. Everybody, when we're crashing, you know me. I'm pretty chill because I'm just waiting for confirmations. I'm trying to be patient. And it's the same thing in the uptrends. I don't get overly bearish and I don't get overly bullish. I just try and just track the data and wait for confirmations. And this is a really important confirmation area, this green rectangle. And there hasn't been this midterm bullish confirmation in my eyes just yet. What that looks like is the swing high, April 13th, 2021, to the swing low right here, 28,000. We have this Fibonacci lower high resistance area right around above 57,000 to around $50,000. Bitcoin is in it right now. This is a resistance area. We want to see Bitcoin break above that resistance area, and it's a lower high resistance. That's a bullish confirmation for Bitcoin. So you could be like, Dan, Bitcoin's up 40% in the last like few weeks, couple weeks. Isn't that bullish confirmation? I mean, Bitcoin makes these moves to the downside and upside all the time. Bullish confirmation is breaking these key resistance areas. So that's what I'm watching on the short-term chart right now. Trying to also see what kind of structures coming into play on the midterm, kind of going back over to April, but also even the short term. What's going on in here? It's a very messy chart. So going to continue tracking Bitcoin on the macro, on the zoomed in. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know how you're doing out there. I really, truly appreciate each and every one of you. Hit that subscribe, hit that like. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.